Good day to everyone. This is Teacher Jonathan, and today we are going to discuss a new lesson again in Mathematics 8. Our topic for today is all about linear equation into variables. So when we are talking about linear equation into variables, we are talking about the standard form, which can be written in ax plus by is equal to c, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a and b are both non-zero. Now, in order for us to understand more about linear equation in two variables, we have 5 different equations here, and our target is to look or find which of these equations are an example of linear equation into variables. Let's have the first example here. We have 8x plus 7y is equal to 2. Now, as you can see, this is an example of a standard form or a linear equation in two variables. Why? Because it has a value for a, where a is equal to positive 8. The value for b is positive 7. And the value for c is positive 2. And at the same time, it has two variables. We have variable x and variable y. Whereas the exponent of each variable is 1. Remember that if the exponent of each variable is 1, meaning to say that is an example of linear equation in two variables, so it has x and y. Okay, so this is an example of a linear equation in two variables. Now let's proceed to number 2. We have y is equal to 6x minus 3. So this is not yet in the standard form. So what we are going to do is to arrange it. All we have to do is to transpose 6x here from right side to left side. So it will become negative 6x plus y is equal to negative 3. So there you go. It is already in the standard form. Now we can get the value for a, which is equal to negative 6. Value for b is positive 1. And the value for c is negative 3. Okay, so meaning to say, this is also an example of a linear equation into variables. Okay. Let's proceed to number 3. We have y is equal to 1/3 x plus 2/3. Now, as you can see, this is not in the standard form ax plus by is equal to c. We have to transform it into a standard form. So we can transpose 1/3 x from right side to left side. It will become negative 1/3 x added by y is equal to 2/3. As you can see, it looks like a standard form, but we can still create it or write it in a more standard form by simply removing the denominator 3. So how are we going to remove that 3? We have to multiply it by the reciprocal 3. So using the distributive property of multiplication, we can multiply 3 for each term. So it will become 3 multiplied by negative 1/3 times x. You have to cancel out 3. That will give you negative x only. And then 3 multiplied by positive y, that will give you positive 3y. And then 3 times 2/3, all you have to do is to cancel out 3. That will give you 2. Now, as you can see, this is much more look like an standard form ax plus by is equal to c. Now, we can determine the value for a, b, and c now. The value for A is negative 1. The value for B is positive 3. And the value for C is positive 2. So we can conclude that this equation, if it's already in the standard form, is an example of linear equation into variables. Now let's proceed to question number 4. So we have an equation y is equal to x squared plus 3. Now as you can see, we have exponent 2 here. When we talk about linear equation during your math 7, each variable must have a maximum, or should I say an exponent of 1 only. So since this is not 1, the exponent is 2, we cannot consider this as a linear equation into variables. So let's proceed to number 5. So we have xy is equal to 3. Now as you can see, both variables has exponent of 1. Meaning to say, yes, this is a linear equation. But this is not a linear equation into variables. So when we say two variables, it must be written like this one. The first variable separated from the other variable. Meaning to say, they are in different terms. Okay, so in this case, x and y are considered as one term only. Therefore, we cannot consider this as an example of linear equation into variables. Okay, so there you have it. I hope I was able to give you hint or knowledge on how to determine an equation or a linear equation into variables.